All right, so I just wanted to go over a few general information items for the parents. I know that we started the school year, alhamdulillah, everything's been going really well. The students have been doing their best to catch up. And I wanted to go over some of our general classroom policies and things. One of the first things I wanted to share with you was some pictures from our art class yesterday. Alhamdulillah, we are able to get an art class through the Proc Center once a month, where the students are provided with all of the art supplies. They're provided with an art teacher to teach them a lot of different kinds of art strategies. Some of the work that they did yesterday should have come home with them. So you'll see those if they haven't pulled it out of their backpack. You'll see some really amazing art pieces that they worked on in class. So some of the general expectations and modifications that we've made for this year, considering that we just came off of a year where the entire country was working from home. So we expect that there are some learning gaps that occurred because of that. So some of the things that we've been doing to make sure that we are supporting our students as best as we can, especially what I'm doing specifically in class, I'm sending the students home with a homework log that's given each week. And I've minimized the amount of homework they have because I'm having them work on most of their assignments in the classroom. So whatever we can get done in class, we do. So that way they're present for any instruction, if they want to ask any questions. We've also made sure that we're providing the lesson videos online. So if a student comes home at the end of the day, they don't remember what they did in math class in the morning, they're able to go back and review that lesson. So we're trying to offer support on multiple levels to help close that gap that happened because of the entire COVID shutdown year. Now, their homework that they do take home, if they have any that they're still taking home other than their daily reading that they're required to do, shouldn't take them more than about 30 minutes. So check their reading log. You need to sign off on their reading log daily. I'm going to show you guys briefly what those look like. So their reading logs look like this. You'll see this come home with them every single week. What I've been doing so far is I've been filling in the information with their homework. So it'll have something listed, It'll have information listed for math, for language arts, for science or social studies, depending on what we're taking. And there's also a spot over here for parent signature. Now, this is an area that I know has been skipped many times. It is something that's actually really important. That's how I guarantee that you have seen that they have assignments. You know what assignments they've been working on, what concepts they're learning in class. And it gives you the opportunity to take a look at their work. So please check their homework log daily, sign off on it daily that you've checked to see that their homework is completed, that it's done correctly, that they did their work neatly. On the back of that homework log is a reading log, and this is the same one that you guys saw come through last year on Google Classroom, which is still available on Google Classroom if a student is working from home and they're not able to fill it in because they're absent. Make sure they fill in their reading log daily. Any incomplete or missing work that we have in class is going to go home as homework. So I'm providing as much time as possible to be able to get these things done in the classroom, their regular classwork, in addition to any additional practice that would be homework. But if something is going home, please make sure that it's completed and it's turned in the following day. So things that I need the families to check daily: check your child's homework log, check their reading log to make sure that they have filled it in for that day, because they're earning points every single day. And if they're not filling it in, they're also losing points every single day for not having that completed. Now, in their homework folder, I provided all of the kids with a homework folder. And in their homework folder, it's got the two sides to it. They have their return to school side and they have their keep at home side. Anything that's listed that's moved over to their return to school side, make sure that you check it. A lot of times that's where you're going to find things that need a parent's signature. That's where you're going to find their returned work and exams and things that I need you to review. Any important flyers or information that I'm sending home is going to be on that side, anything that needs to come back. Their keep at home side, please empty that regularly. Their folders do get really, really overstuffed, and then their folders get torn or messed up, and we have to figure out how to get them a new one at that point. For their assignments that they're taking home, please make sure that their work is readable. If you can't read it, I can't read it. And I'm not able to give them points for assignments if it's written in a way that's really difficult to read, if it's written at a much lower level than what I know they can perform at. So this is why I need you guys to check homework regularly. This is a collaborative effort. I'm doing as much as I can in the classroom because I want to see all of these kids succeed. I want to see them do well, but I need support from home as well. Now, if you notice that your child is taking a lot longer on homework than is necessary, give me a call or send me an email. We'll set up a meeting, inshallah, and we'll figure out how we can support them or see if we can find some kind of modified work plan to help them get caught up. Whenever we have long breaks or weekends, I may assign them either a project, some research to do, a writing assignment. It's not often, but it does happen. Please make sure that they are working on these for a good amount of time. Anything that's done the night before is very obviously done the night before. So that becomes an issue because when they bring in their work, they're not familiar with the content that's on their project. They don't know how to present it properly because all of it is still new information because they figured it out the night before. All right. Now, with regard to general classroom rules, the overarching ones, mashallah, the kids are all very polite, they're very well behaved, they're very kind and courteous to each other. So I wanted to go over other rules that we don't usually talk about, but the students have already become familiar with as well. I have a classroom library, alhamdulillah, a pretty good sized one, and the kids enjoy checking books out all the time. You'll see them come home with books from class out of our classroom library regularly. Please make sure that they're returning those books in good condition so that they can read them again later or so that another child can read them. If something is damaged or lost, if a younger sibling scribbles on something, if pages get torn, please replace that item. Now, for our mask policy, what we've been doing is we've had the children bring in an extra mask. We keep it in a Ziploc bag in a container where we know that that mask belongs to that child. The kids have been going through their masks pretty quickly, and they tend to change their masks usually at least once a day. This is either due to, they got food on it while they were putting it back on after they were eating, or they got really sweaty when they were running, so their mask feels damp and uncomfortable from the inside, so they switch it out. And because they're changing them out so often, I think one of the better options to do is maybe just buy a small box of masks for your child and label their name on it. It'll stay in the classroom. They'll be able to change out their mask and have a spare one whenever they need it, and they won't run out quickly. Usually when you're buying them in a larger pack, they tend to be more affordable than buying the small individually packaged ones. Make sure also that the masks that you're sending are the 3-layer masks, whether it's fabric, like the reusable ones that can be sent home and washed, or if it's the disposable ones. The little 1-layer ones are not going to keep your child safe. If anything happens, if anybody is sick, I want to make sure that they're safe, and the 1-layer masks will not do that for them. For textbooks and workbooks, the textbooks that your children have received are all either brand new or they're in like new condition. Their workbooks are all brand new. Please make sure that they're taking care of these because they're going to be using them for the entire year. If anything is damaged, lost, not usable anymore, those things will either need to be reimbursed or replaced. Any borrowed classroom materials. So a lot of times, even with math, I'll send home some math manipulatives to help the kids be able to do their work. Please make sure those do come back in good condition so that the students can use them again later, and so that anybody else who checks them out can also use them. Do you guys have any questions on this stuff, or is there anything about what we've talked about so far? I know that I bought little boxes of masks off of Amazon. Those are generally pretty affordable, and we keep, a spare box in the classroom for anybody who's run out and needs a replacement. But those are a good purchase to keep, to send with your student to the classroom. That way they have a mask on hand whenever they need one. Okay, with regard to parent and guardian expectations. So alhamdulillah, I've had the opportunity to work with your students. Did somebody have a question? No? Okay. So alhamdulillah, I have the opportunity to work with your students Monday through Thursday for about 6 hours a day. So that only rounds out to about 24 hours per week that your child is spending time with me, where I'm able to offer them support and resources in person. Now, for the rest of the time during that week, they're working from home. And it's for this reason that we need to collaborate. We need to work together to help close that education gap that everybody is facing from last year, to be able to provide them with support and resources that they need so that they're successful. With regard to email, this is really important. Please check your email daily. I don't send out too many emails during the school year. I know there's a good amount that go out before school starts with information and notices and calendars and things like that. But especially throughout the school year, please check your email every day. Respond to any emails that are specific to your child, or if it's regarding confirming for a meeting or an event, or just letting me know that you've read and received the important information that's been sent your way. I also have the Remind app that's still available for you guys to join. This is the quickest and easiest way to get short updates on things, anything that comes up last minute. It'll come through your phone like a text message. So you can download the Remind app, or you can send a regular text message to the number 81010 with the message at Miss Zena in the message body, and it'll send you a link automatically. Download the app and join specifically my classroom. For Google Classroom, please check your child's grades in there regularly. Please read the comments that are left by me and our TA, Ms. Fatima. We do go through their work really thoroughly. We do leave important comments on the things that go home. We leave important comments in Google Classroom. If you see something has been missing for a long time, check with your child, because sometimes they'll finish something and leave it in their folder and forget to turn it in, or they'll forget it at home. Again, go through your child's homework folder daily. Sign any tests that come home. I've been stamping the test papers that I send home, and I'm giving the children the opportunity to earn extra credit points if they bring it back with a parent's signature. So that does multiple things. Number one, it encourages your child to be more responsible for their work. Number two, it provides them the opportunity to earn an extra credit point on that assignment. And number three, it helps me make sure that you are able to see how they're doing. You're able to see their work. You can look over their mistakes and help support them as much as you possibly can, so that I can continue supporting them in the classroom as well. Okay. Now, with regard to COVID and illnesses, so this is something that we're dealing with. It's at the forefront of everybody's thoughts right now, is how are we going to keep kids safe? So if your child is out sick, if they're sent home sick, or they didn't attend because they were already not feeling well when they were at home, please make sure you're limiting their exposure to any non-household members. If they're sick, we want to make sure not to get anybody else sick. Another very important thing that was also in our COVID policy that we had the family sign off on at the beginning of the year is that if your child is out, whether it's just as a precaution, whether they have a slight cough, whatever it is, you need to make sure that your child is staying on top of their assignments. This is another reason why we make sure that Google Classroom is stocked with videos. It has all of the copies of their assignments in digital form or in PDF form available for them so that they don't fall behind. We're already dealing with a gap from last year. Any additional gaps that can be avoided, we want to avoid at all costs. So please make sure they're watching those videos at home. They're completing their assignments and uploading them, and that they bring their work in. You know, if they're not uploading it directly into Google Classroom, when they come back, that work needs to have been completed. If they are not caught up, if they are behind on their assignments, they can be sent home. They most likely will be sent home until they are caught up, because we're not able to dedicate that same amount of lesson time to reteach it when the class has already moved on to something else. Please make sure you're screening them daily, checking their temperatures, medicating them for whatever, is doctor recommended. Get them PCR tested anytime they're out sick. Send a picture. You can either take a screenshot of the PDF test results. It has to show their name, the date, and the test result on it. please don't send a link. I know a couple families have sent the link that is provided to them. I can't access it because usually that has login information or something related to that. So send a picture or send the PDF to me via email before your child has clearance to come in. Now, even if they test negative and they're not feeling well, so if they test negative and they're still coughing and sneezing, they still need to stay home. We want to preserve the health and safety of the students and staff as much as possible. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that we don't have any sick kids on site. Now, I did add a few links over here on the side that you guys are able to follow. This will take you to our frequently asked questions about COVID. This is also found on our Google site. And it gives you a selection of questions that you can go through with information to answer everything as best as possible. This is also, it's linked in the slides, but it's also linked in our Google site. I left a link for CDC information about COVID in schools, and I left a link for our CLP classes and resources site. This is what I was talking to you guys about. So when you visit the site, this is our homepage. It gives you just very brief, basic information. One of the most important tabs is the second one that says updates and information. This provides you with information as it becomes available to us. We provide it to you. Links for joining programs, information about COVID, all of the documents with any updates that we make are all available right here for you. This is the link to that same slideshow I was showing you earlier, our handbook, our calendar, our supply list, everything you're going to find right here. Throughout the different tabs, you can go visit the different classes. You can find the links for the Google Classrooms, the YouTube channel that has all of the videos, the distance learning documents and PDFs of different workbooks and notes and things that they use throughout the year. We try and make everything available and accessible online for you as much as possible. Okay. Now, with regard to what Crescent is doing to help keep students safe. So we have a lot of cleaning protocols in place. We have a lot of general protocols in place to try and make sure that our students stay safe and that we're able to continue in-person learning. We make sure that everything is sanitized regularly. So any high-touch areas, restrooms, those are sanitized every 2 hours. The tables that they sit at when they eat lunch are sanitized between groups, and they're also deep cleaned at the end of the day. All classroom surfaces are sanitized daily. So before your students come in the morning, everything gets wiped down. Any high-touch areas, their tables, the edges of their chairs, anything that they're touching frequently gets sanitized. They also sanitize their hands before they touch any community items such as, the books in the library. Their textbooks are labeled with their names on them, so they're only touching their own books. All of these are different precautions we're trying to take to make sure that if a student is sick with anything, that they're not passing it along to a classmate. Morning drop-offs, as you guys have seen, we've tried to coordinate that so that kids are not interacting too much in the mornings. We have the TAs and other staff members taking temperatures to make sure that students are safe to come to school. Even when they come in the morning, they're seated in separate areas. When they're using the restrooms, during break times, or when they're eating during break times, or when they're playing during break times, each group is separate. Each class goes out on its own. And this limits, again, any kind of possible cross-contamination that could happen between classes. Students have their designated areas. They have their designated spots in class. Students are spaced out in the classroom as much as possible to help provide them with a good, clean learning environment. They do wear their masks the whole day, except when they're eating, again, to promote health and safety. So these are just additional measures that we've been putting in place to make sure that the students are safe. We're also trying to do the best that we can to support them and help close this learning gap that we are facing, not just as a program, but as an entire country and as the world. We have a learning gap that has been detrimental to almost every student because they've been pulled out of the classrooms and have been trying to work from home. So we as teachers we're figuring this out as we went along. You know, nobody expected a year of fully online learning. Alhamdulillah, we were able to adapt. We were able to make it possible. We did get the additional resources. We found ways to support our students from home through video lessons, through Zoom meetings, through the purchase of additional resources to help support them. And with all of this and with the additional protocols we have in place, this of course comes with an additional cost. So if you are able to support Crescent by donating, please do so. We have the link for our PayPal donation at the bottom. We have the little QR code that you can scan with your phone. I also have the link to our fundraising flyer. This did go home with students about a week or so ago. And this has additional information for you guys. Now, alhamdulillah, we've been open. This is our 8th year that we've been open, and it's been a wonderful experience. We hope to continue providing services for students. We hope to continue expanding in the future. And one of the ways that we're able to do that is through support from families. So if you are able to support us and donate, we would appreciate it greatly. Jazakallah khair for your time. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. That is the end of my slideshow for you guys today. Okay, so we got one question. How can we confirm that a missing assignment is pending to be graded or incomplete? So what I've been doing is I'm sending home or I'm emailing out missing assignments to the families. It is taking us a little bit of time to be able to correct everything and get it uploaded into Google Classroom. So if it's something that's very recent that is listed as missing, don't worry about it just yet. Usually by the end of the week, I will email you if your child has additional missing assignments so that you can work with them. Also, any missing assignments are sent home in their homework folder. So if you are checking that daily, you'll be able to see what assignments have come back with them that they need to complete. All right, does anybody have any other questions? Anything about the slides, anything about information about the program, about support for the students, protocols for COVID? Okay, Jazakallah khair. I will email you guys a copy of the slides in case you want to access any of the links that are available in it. If you have any questions, you all have my email address, alhamdulillah. Please feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns you have, any suggestions you have. We're happy to help with everything. Yes, Claudia.
Zena, now that Brother Yusuf is here too, is the school requiring the teachers to get vaccinated or no?
According to CDC guidelines, what we're doing is we're following what they put in place. So CDC guidelines indicate that any staff members that are working with students are either vaccinated or they're getting COVID tested weekly. So in addition to that, we're making sure that all of our staff members are also wearing KN95 masks when they're working with students, and those are 5-layer masks. So just as an extra layer of precaution, we're trying to cover all of our bases as best as possible by doing these different things.
Okay.
Do you guys have any other questions? I know we're dealing with a lot of new things this year. I want to help clarify as much as I can for you. Claudia, did you have another question? It's still showing as the hand up, the raised hand.
Oh, hold on, let me remove it.
No worries. Inshallah, if you guys don't have any other questions, we can go ahead and end the meeting. Again, I'll send out a copy of the slides for you guys. Any questions that come up later, please feel free to reach out. I am happy to help and answer questions as best as I can for everybody. Also, I wanted to let you know that I really do appreciate how supportive all the families have been. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, I can say that we have not had any COVID cases throughout the school. Everything has gone really well. All the protocols and things that have been put in place are, inshallah, helping to keep us safe, help keep all of our students and staff members safe. So that has worked out really well. I know that, that students have been sent home as a precaution. I appreciate very much that you guys are working with them from home, that you're taking them to get tested, that you are, following up with all of our guidelines. All of these things have helped tremendously to help keep everybody safe and to help keep us open and working in person. All right, Jazakumullah khair for your time. I will, inshallah, see your students in class on Monday. If anything comes up before then, please feel free to reach out to me. Have a great day.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum, everybody.